Picture this. You're sitting at your kitchen table. Tax forms scattered everywhere. Retirement account statements in messy piles. You've promised yourself, again, that this year you'll finally get organized. Sound familiar? I've spoken with hundreds of men your age. Most tell me the same story. They earn decent money, work hard, yet retirement feels like driving through fog. You can't see where you're going. Here's what nobody tells you. The best retirement savers aren't the smartest people. They're not financial wizards. They're people who built a machine. Said it, forgot it. Today I'm showing you how to build yours in 30 minutes. Let me share some research that'll surprise you. Researchers at Harvard and the National Bureau of Economic Research studied over 1,000 companies. They discovered something counterintuitive. People who think more about their 401k don't save more. Actually, they often save less. Why? Decision paralysis sets in. Should you contribute 6%? 8%? Which funds? When to rebalance? It's overwhelming, so people procrastinate, or they freeze. Psychologists call this decision complexity. The more complicated a choice becomes, the more we delay making it. Tversky and Shafir demonstrated this decades ago. Their findings still hold. Here's the fascinating part. Companies that made decisions for employees saw participation rates jump to 85%, sometimes higher. Before automation, participation hovered around 68%. That 17-point difference represents billions in retirement savings. But here's where it gets interesting. Auto-enrollment isn't magic. It's behavioral engineering. You're not fighting your nature. You're using it. Building your retirement autopilot requires 3 pieces. Each takes about 10 minutes to set up. Let me walk you through them. First decision, which accounts? 33% of American households own traditional IRAs. 26% have Roths. Many people own both. You probably should too. Think of it this way. Traditional IRAs give you tax relief today. You contribute pre-tax dollars. Your taxable income drops. If you're in the 24% bracket, every dollar you contribute saves 24 cents in taxes right now. Roth IRAs work differently. You pay taxes today. Your money grows tax-free. Withdrawals? Completely tax-free in retirement. Which matters more to you, saving taxes now or later? Here's a practical framework. If you're over 50 and earning good money now, traditional IRAs often make sense. Your tax bracket's probably higher now than it'll be in retirement. Save the taxes today when they're worth more. But here's the nuance. If you've got a pension coming, if Social Security will be substantial, if you've already got decent traditional IRA balances, consider Roths for new contributions. You're buying tax diversification. Fidelity ran the numbers on 3 hypothetical savers. Sarah saved in a traditional IRA and invested her tax refund. Brian saved in a traditional IRA but spent his refund. Sam used a Roth. 30 years later, Sarah and Sam had identical after-tax balances. Brian had 23% less. The difference wasn't the account type, it was spending behavior. Most people are Brian. That's why automation matters. We can't trust ourselves to invest the tax savings. Better to pay taxes now, put it in a Roth, and guarantee tax-free growth. For your 401k, similar logic applies. Most employers now offer both traditional and Roth 401k options. Current IRS limits let you contribute $23,000 annually. If you're over 50, that jumps to $30,500 with catch-up contributions. That's real money. Split your contributions if you're unsure. Half traditional, half Roth. You'll hedge your tax bets. Nobody knows future tax rates anyway. Second piece of your machine, set it and escalate it. Studies by Brigitte Madrian and James Choi at Harvard revealed something stunning. When companies implemented automatic enrollment at 3%, participation soared. But here's the catch. Most people never changed that 3% default. 3 years later, half the participants still contributed exactly 3%. They'd anchored to the default. That's not enough for retirement. Employee Benefit Research Institute ran simulations. Auto-enrollment at 6% reduced retirement shortfalls by 7%. Add automatic escalation, your contribution rate increases 1% yearly and shortfalls dropped 9%. Combine auto-enrollment, escalation, and auto portability, your 401k follows you between jobs. Retirement shortfalls fell 16%. For workers aged 35 to 39, shortfalls dropped 26%. Your action step? Log into your 401k today. Set your contribution to at least 6% if you're starting out, 10 to 15% if you're over 50 and behind. Then activate automatic escalation. Most plans call it auto increase or step up contributions. You tell it to raise your contribution 1% each year, automatically. No decision required. You won't miss the money. Annual raises typically exceed 1% anyway, but over time, it compounds dramatically. A 45-year-old earning $75,000 who contributes 6% with 1% annual escalation will accumulate over $400,000 by 65. Without escalation, maybe $280,000. That's 40% more money. Same person, just smarter automation. Here's the crucial part. Don't think about it again. Let the machine run. Behavioral research shows people who check their retirement accounts quarterly actually perform worse than annual checkers. Why? They panic during market dips, make emotional decisions, break the automation, set it, forget it, check it once yearly. That's the system. Third component, automated rebalancing. Most people build portfolios backwards. They pick funds, then wonder why performance disappoints. Professional investors work differently. They pick an allocation first. Maybe 60% stocks, 40% bonds. That allocation matches their risk tolerance and timeline. Then they stick to it, religiously. Why does this matter? T. Rowe Price analyzed 25 years of market data. They tested different rebalancing strategies. The findings surprised many professionals. Wider tolerance bands outperformed narrow ones. What's a tolerance band? It's your rebalancing trigger. If you target 60% stocks and 40% bonds, a 5% tolerance band means you rebalance when stocks hit 65% or 55%. The study found 3% fixed bands or 25% relative bands generated the best returns. You weren't constantly trading, but you weren't drifting too far from your target either. Vanguard's research confirmed this. They examined global portfolios across 10,000 simulations. Threshold-based rebalancing outperformed both monthly rebalancing and no rebalancing at all. Here's why. Rebalancing forces you to buy low, sell high. When stocks surge, your portfolio gets stock heavy. Rebalancing sells some winners, buys bonds. When stocks crash, you're buying stocks cheap with bond proceeds. Academic research from the Financial Planning Association showed rebalancing improved returns by over 100 basis points annually during 5-year periods. That's 1% extra per year, compounded over decades. Substantial wealth. But here's the secret. You can't do this manually. Not reliably. Emotions sabotage discipline. I've watched it happen hundreds of times. February 2020, stocks are soaring. Your portfolio's 80% equities. You should rebalance to 60%. But you think, why sell winners? Then March hits. Market crashes. Your portfolio's down 30%. Now you're paralyzed. Selling feels like locking in losses. Automation removes emotion. The machine doesn't panic, doesn't get greedy, just executes the plan. Most major brokerages, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, offer automatic rebalancing. Some charge nothing. Others charge nominal fees. All worth it. Log in. Find automatic rebalancing in settings. Choose quarterly or whenever allocations drift 5%. Pick your target allocation. Done. The machine handles everything else. Here's where automation really shines: tax efficiency. When you rebalance inside tax-advantaged accounts, your 401k, traditional IRA, Roth IRA, you pay zero taxes on the transactions. Sell a winning fund? No capital gains tax. Buy a losing fund? No restrictions. Compare that to taxable accounts. Every rebalancing trade triggers potential taxes. Short-term capital gains hit ordinary income rates, maybe 24, 32, even 37%. Long-term gains take 15 or 20%. Those taxes compound negatively. You're not just losing the tax payment, you're losing all future growth on that money. Vanguard calculated the difference. Tax-efficient investors using IRAs and 401ks for rebalancing gained an extra 30 basis points annually compared to taxable account rebalancers. Over 30 years, that's 10 to 15% more wealth. Another advantage. Required minimum distributions. If you're 73 or older, you must withdraw from traditional IRAs and 401ks annually. The IRS mandates it. Why not use those RMDs strategically? Rebalance while taking your RMD. If stocks are overweight, take your distribution from stock funds. Underweight, pull from bonds. You're required to withdraw anyway. Might as well rebalance simultaneously. Smart automation means tax-smart decisions happen effortlessly. You're probably thinking this sounds complicated. It's not. Here's your exact checklist. 30 minutes tops. Open your 401k portal. If you're not contributing, start at 6% minimum. Already contributing, bump it 2 percentage points higher. Activate automatic annual increases of 1%. No 401k. Open a traditional or Roth IRA today. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, all excellent. Pick one. Transfer money from checking. Start with whatever you can afford. Even $200 monthly matters. Set up automatic monthly transfers. Choose a target allocation. Simple approach? Use your age. If you're 55, go 65% stocks, 35% bonds. If you're 60, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Don't overthink this. Close enough works. Precision is overrated. Consistency is underrated. Most providers offer target date funds. Pick the fund closest to your retirement year. These automatically adjust allocation as you age. Perfect for hands-off investors. Prefer custom portfolios? Fine. Pick a broad stock index fund. Pick a broad bond index fund. Set your percentages. Move on. Enable automatic rebalancing. Most platforms offer quarterly rebalancing or threshold based when allocation drifts 5%. Either works. Quarterly is simpler. Double-check everything's automatic. Contributions, automatic. Increases, automatic. Rebalancing, automatic. Write down your target allocation. File it. Don't look at your accounts for 6 months minimum. 12 months is better. Done. Your wealth machine is running. Let's talk numbers. Real outcomes. The National Bureau of Economic Research tracked employees before and after auto-enrollment implementation. Participation jumped from 68 to 87%. Average contribution rates increased 0.6% of income. Sounds small. It's not. For someone earning $75,000, that's $450 extra annually. Compounded at 7% over 20 years, nearly $20,000 from that tiny increase alone. Employee Benefit Research Institute went further. They modeled 30 years of retirement savings. Workers with auto-enrollment, auto-escalation, and auto-portability reduced their retirement shortfall 16% on average. For younger workers, 35 to 39, shortfalls dropped 26%. Almost by accident. Just because the machine worked while they lived their lives. Think about that. Same people, same income, better automation, 26% more retirement security. The rebalancing data is equally compelling. Studies spanning 29 years showed rebalanced portfolios outperformed buy and hold strategies by 1 to 2 percentage points annually. During bear markets, rebalanced portfolios fell less. During recoveries, they captured more upside. This isn't theory. It's measurable, documented, repeatable. Numbers tell part of the story. Behavior tells the rest. John Bashir's, Harvard researcher we mentioned earlier, conducted fascinating follow-up studies. He wanted to know what happens to auto-enrolled employees long-term. The findings were nuanced. Auto-enrollment works. Participation rises. Savings increase. But life intrudes. People change jobs. They withdraw funds early. They cash out 401ks instead of rolling them over. These behaviors diminish automation's benefits. They don't eliminate them, just reduce them. Here's the key insight. Automation creates behavioral armor, not invincibility, just protection. You're less likely to make catastrophic mistakes. Without automation, maybe you never enroll. Maybe you contribute 3% forever. Maybe you panic sell during crashes. Any one mistake costs hundreds of thousands over decades. With automation, you still might cash out a 401k during a job change. Not ideal. But you've been saving more overall. You've been rebalancing consistently. You're ahead even with occasional mistakes. Perfect is the enemy of good. Automation gives you good consistently. That beats perfect occasionally every time. People raise predictable objections. Let me address them. What if I lose my job? Most 401ks become IRAs when you leave. The automation transfers with you. Set up your IRA with the same auto-increase features. Nothing changes. Plus, research from Boston College's Center for Retirement Research found auto-enrolled employees showed slight improvements in credit scores and lower loan default rates. Automation helps financial stability broadly, not just retirement. What if the market crashes right after I contribute? Excellent question. This is where rebalancing shines. Market crashes create buying opportunities. Your automation buys stocks cheap with bond proceeds. When markets recover, they always recover. You've captured the upside. Studies of portfolios through 1987, 2000, 2008, and 2020 crashes show rebalanced portfolios recovered faster and grew larger than buy and hold portfolios. What if I need the money? Fair concern. That's why emergency funds matter. Keep 3 to 6 months of expenses and savings outside retirement accounts. Use retirement automation for long-term wealth only. Need to tap retirement funds in true emergencies. Most plans allow loans or hardship withdrawals. Not ideal, but available. The research shows people with automated retirement savings maintain those savings better than manual savers, even during tough times. The friction of stopping automation exceeds the friction of finding money elsewhere. Isn't this just being lazy? Actually, no. It's being smart. Lazy would be doing nothing. Checking your portfolio daily. Overconfident. Studies show daily checkers underperform annual checkers by 2 to 3 percentage points. They trade emotionally. Automation prevents that. You're not being lazy. You're being strategic. You're removing emotion from financial decisions. That's sophistication, not laziness. Here's what happens when you activate your wealth machine today. Year 1 feels unremarkable. Your account grows slowly, maybe $5,000 or $6,000 if you're contributing modestly. Hardly life-changing. Year 5 shows promise. You've accumulated maybe $30,000. Your automatic escalations have you contributing 10 or 11%. But retirement still feels distant. Year 10 surprises you. Your balance hits $100,000. Compound growth accelerates. Market fluctuations barely register. The automation's been rebalancing through ups and downs. Year 15 astonishes you. $200,000. Maybe more. You've changed jobs twice. Each time, the automation transferred smoothly. You barely noticed. Year 25? $400,000. $500,000. Maybe more depending on returns and contribution levels. But here's what's different. You didn't stress about it. Didn't make heroic sacrifices. Just let the machine run. That's the power of automation. Unremarkable daily actions create remarkable long-term results. You've listened this far. You understand the research. You see the logic. Now what? Close this video. Open your 401k or IRA portal. Spend 30 minutes, maybe 40 if technology's cranky. Set your contribution rate. Activate escalation. Choose your allocation. Enable rebalancing. Then close the browser. Put this out of your mind for 6 months. That's it. That's the whole system. Will you become a millionaire overnight? Obviously not. Will you build substantial wealth over 20 or 30 years? Absolutely. The data's unequivocal. Auto-enrollment increases participation 87%. Auto-escalation reduces shortfalls by double digits. Rebalancing adds 1 to 2% annual returns. Tax-advantaged accounts multiply those gains. These aren't theories. They're measured outcomes. Hundreds of thousands of people have built retirement security this exact way. You can too. The question isn't whether automation works. It does. The question is whether you'll implement it. Most people won't. They'll watch this video, agree with everything, do nothing. Don't be most people. Take 30 minutes today. Build your wealth machine. Set it on cruise control. Then go live your life. 20 years from now, you'll thank yourself. Not for being brilliant. Not for perfect timing. Just for starting. For letting automation do the heavy lifting. That's the retirement autopilot. That's your wealth machine. Now go build it.